Tanse, Elijah Alexander Chenoweth, Nitsia Kasan, Egwa Kalpitsa Nitsia Kasan, Pusakanachi, Wea Neowak, Egwa Spachman, Egwa East Vancouver, Ochnia. I'm Elijah Alexander Chenoweth. Another name I carry is also Kalpitsa, and I come from the Touchwood Hills people and George Gordon First Nation, as well as the Spachman people of the Upper Nicola Indian Band, and I'm born and raised here in East Vancouver. I'm a 22-year-old filmmaker, and I'm pitching my film Tunnel Vision, which follows cousins Marcus and Kenny, Marcus being the urban native and Kenny being the res girl. It essentially will follow him coming into his reserve, which is Downhill First Nation, a fictionalized community in Saskatchewan around Treaty 4 or so. And essentially, they're going to be getting into a bit of a beef with a rival family called the Pitts. They get into a fight with one of their people named Gilbert or Chapo, and they beat his ass, which results in Chapo plotting against them by getting his uncle to kill their little res dog, Pitwa, which sends Kenny on a huge path of vengeance with Marcus kind of being pulled along by his own volition as well. And they go and confront Chapo's uncle, who's the likely suspect, Saul, and it backfires completely. Kenny gets her ass kicked, and this makes her go into an even deeper cycle and spiral of violence, which results in them breaking into Saul's house later that night, trying to break in and steal his dog, but it results in someone being shot by Saul in the process, which ends up really stirring violence up because Saul is connected with his brother, who is a small-time criminal who has a bunch of ties with a bunch of really bad, violent people. So as you can see, this is going to slowly turn into a chaotic action thriller. And it's going to end in Marcus and Kenny essentially having to fuck up and fight against their rival family of this community or die. So the stakes are pretty high. It's life or death here. And lots of people get pulled into this story that don't even really want to be involved. Characters, that is. And it ends up with a huge bloodbath. The key creative team we've been talking with, I've been trying to contact mostly is Jesse Anthony, who has won telefilm before about 8 years ago for her film Brother I Cry. I've also been contacting her key creative team, the cinematographer Andy Hodgson and the editor Shun Ando. And the vision that I would say Tunnel Vision should go for is mostly a gritty, grounded, but very chaotic sort of tone. And that would be in the way of coloring. There's going to be lots of scenes at nighttime, but also, going handheld during the action scenes and being more still during the non-action scenes. I also would really like to point out the fact that the music will definitely be important. We're taking a lot of inspiration from Tarantino. I am, especially with this film, the storytelling, the characters, the dialogue. And that really is highlighting the connection I have with other young people, especially young Nietzsche's just like me. We love Tarantino. We love the crazy action movies. We love the crazy horror, the gore, the humor as well. And that's really what my personal connection is to this, as well as, I'm an urban native living in the city in Vancouver, but I also have a huge connection with my reserve, which, some of these stories within this script is actually based loosely off real experiences, obviously amplified to all hell, but this story really is a personal connection for me between my home community, where I live, and what's in my heart, my mind, and I really believe we can make something special, a really crazy action thriller. Hey, hey!